What's up, guys? Welcome back to another solo podcast. I'm back at it today, well, this evening. As you can see, it's Saturday, 21:53. So, yeah, it's nice and late, but nevertheless, we've still got podcast to do. So excited for this one. I'm going to be doing, just sort of jumping straight in again to the questions. I've got them all on my phone, all laid out, which is brilliant. So I'm going to be typing them up this time rather than writing them down because I think that's going to be quicker. Again, just because I want to make sure that this is as good and as professional as possible. Also, I'm going to try to get these up on iTunes. I'm very aware that I've been asked why aren't they on iTunes? Now, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. Genuinely, the reason why they're not on iTunes is because I don't know how to put them on iTunes. But I'm going to look tonight. I'm going to search YouTube, and I'm going to just find out because I genuinely don't actually know how to put them on iTunes. But regardless of that, I'll figure it out. It can't be that hard, can it? So anyway, a bit of an update with me onwards. So a minute onwards, I'm pretty good at the moment. I feel decent. I mean, everything in regards to like training and stuff's been going well. I've started to bring my calories back up now because getting to a point at which, like, you probably tell my face as well. Like, genuinely, like I'm quite happy. To be fair, I'm quite happy with how I look. Facial wise, aesthetics in regards to my cheeks. Am I happy with my physique? No, not at all. Really not, actually. The light's like glaring down, that's annoying. Oh well, is what it is. I'll move over here a little bit. So, I mean, physique-wise, I feel like I'm very, 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 very flat. Still in the way, that's better. Very, very, very flat, just from off the back of, extremely low-calorie dieting, essentially. But again, it is what it is, and I've done the job when it comes to a diet. I think it was a bit long, looking back, actually. The reasoning behind that, I've just got a new subscriber on YouTube. Interesting. It's cool, isn't it? Don't know why people subscribe to this, though. Get to see my face all the time. But yeah, I think the diet was a bit long. I do. It's about 7 weeks. Didn't really want it to be that long. I wanted it to be more like 5 to 6. But we hit a weight this morning at 170 pounds, which puts me at 20 pounds on stage weight, which is good, to be honest with you. The reality is that's good. That puts me in a good position to move forward from. Now, I don't really plan on dieting ever again until I compete, to be honest with you, because I just don't really want to diet. Like, I could lose 10 pounds now if I wanted to from here, and I'd be pretty shredded, to be honest with you. Like, I would be. I know where I'm at. I know where I was last time at this weight, and I'm definitely better than I was last time, just because I'm stronger, and I train a lot harder than than I ever have. So I know I'm more muscular now, but like, regardless of that, I do feel like I can't simply diet again if I want to be, at all decent when I next compete, because it's going to be a case of just losing again. And I don't want to lose again. Like, I could easily diet again, or not diet again, sorry, but I could drop another 10 pounds. And, quite frankly, sit at about 160, 162, 163, which would be about 10, 12 pounds above stage weight. But realistically, with the muscle that I built, because I definitely have built muscle, I'm just very flat at the moment. But with my lifts and where my strength's at and my intensity in the gym, I think I'm a couple of pounds probably heavier stage weight. So if I go down to like 160, it would put me about 8 pounds above my stage weight. Not really where you want to sit, is it, in a gaining phase? So I'm going to be pushing up now, but again, like, being a bit more conservative with my push up, not just like, okay, well, let's just gain all the weight back quickly. That's not the goal this time. Obviously, I'm not coming from a prep, so I'm not as fucked. To be fair, I do feel quite diet fatigued. I do feel like things like testosterone have gone down again just from being in a deficit. But it is what it is. It served the benefit. The purpose was to get me in a good position to gain from, and I believe I'm there for sure. So I'm happy with that. Now, training as well. Training's going well. A couple of changes with me in regards to training. I'm training 5 days a week. So with the intensity that I can elicit in the gym, I simply cannot do 6 days. I simply cannot. I was doing, pull was good on Monday, legs was good, push was like meh a little bit because I was fucked after legs. Thursday pull was just dog shit, and I thought I could go back in and rack pull. And, realistically, when you can take a set like where I can, and this is coming from someone who does 6 sets or 7 sets for legs, and the next day their legs are very sore after 7 sets of work, and you think I'm going to go in the gym the next day and do rack pulls. I mean, I think you're just taking the fucking piss, to be honest, Jack. So 5 days is what I'm doing now. So we're currently running pull. I love that. I love the way people say that. Pull. We're currently running pull. Pull, legs, push, off, lower, upper. So I like this split. It's nice. I like the upper body day. I did it today. It's like a compound for chest, shoulder, back, and then it's like high rep work. See that in the background there? It's a good film. I was watching 20 minutes of it. Then I realised that I needed to do this podcast and I haven't done it yet. So I paused it, put this on. But yes, I'm doing a chest, shoulder, and back compound, which is the same principle, which is a load and a back off. So the load's like 5 to 10, and the back off's 10 plus. And that's the same. So the rotations at the moment are decline bench, dumbbell shoulder press, and a bent over T-bar row, obviously. And then it's just high rep work, actually, stuff that I'm not used to doing. So it's 15s, which I actually really enjoy. It's like pull-ups. I try to do 4 to 5 sets of 15, which is hard. I'm gassed by 10 reps. So it challenges me in a different way. Then it's like pec decks, cable row, dumbbell lateral raise. I did another move today. What was it? Pec deck. So it's pec deck. Pec deck. Yeah. No. Pull up pec deck. Cable row, machine lateral raise, dumbbell lateral raise. And then I did. What did I do after that? I did dumbbell hammer curl, and then my mind's gone blank. Tricep push down, and that was it. And then it was out. No, did I do any abs? Yeah, I did 3 sets of abs. So ab frequency is high at the moment. It's like every day. Every day I'm in the gym, so 5 days. Because my abs are shit, guys. My abs are really shit, really bad, actually. I don't know if that's because my training partner has immense abs. Perhaps I think that mine are worse, but mine don't look good at all. I mean, they're so shallow. There's just no depth to them, which is just really not good. Even when I was shredded, man, my abs just weren't very, very good at all. So I want to build them up. I really do. I want to progress them. So ab frequency is high, focusing on contractions. Just the main moves at the moment are just a cable crunch, and that's it really. Just progress that and get the abs short. Contract. Exhale fully. So blow all the air out the diaphragm, and then you get your abs crunched, and just basically just go by feel on them. I don't want to like move loads of weights around on that. There's no point. And in other news, training, obviously nutrition's come up. So roughly around 2,500 calories now. Carbs about 350, protein about 225 to 250, and then fats 50 to 60 grams. And that'll just be, and then I'll just obviously make alterations on that based on my weekly average, looking to gain it anywhere from 0.25 to 0.5 pound per week. So a couple of pounds a month, which I think is a good rate. Any more than that, probably just going to be body fat, isn't it, realistically? You're not really going to gain 4 pounds of muscle a month, are you? No, you're not. Especially as a natural guy, it's not going to fucking happen. So, the rate of gain is going to be slow. It's going to be controlled. It's going to be managed well for once. And then we just obviously increase calories when we need to, when training performance warrants it. When we're not getting stronger, we're not progressing lifts. That's when we're going to add food. We're not going to add food because we feel like it. Things like meals out. I'm absolutely going to go out for meals out. Absolutely going to go out for meals out. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to worry about it. Yesterday I went out for sushi with Lewy. A couple of questions about Lewy, which is funny when I get into the questions. But yeah, I'm going to go out for meals out, and I'm going to just enjoy myself, to be honest. But just be sensible. Really, just be an adult about it. Other news, website, it's coming. It's very, very, very close. I'm actually in the process at the moment of getting footage. I've already got some sessions like backlogged. So so that's pretty much on the cards. I'm filming again on Tuesday. I've got a friend Joe coming down. You probably follow him on Instagram. You are, but obviously he'll be in the video, so you better watch that. He's going to come down and we're going to film pull, so that's going to be fun. So Monday, it's going to be Tuesday pull this week because of Joe coming down, which is going to be good. So yeah, that's going to be out. That's going to be lots of content on that. I'm going to make sure that I invest a lot of money into it. Essentially, to be honest with you guys, like videographers are not cheap. Just saying, they're really not. So if you pay for a videographer, you're looking to pay, 150 to 200 pound per video. It's not cheap, is it? Really, if you do 2 of them a week. realistically, it's not. It's expensive, but the reality is, I don't really give a fuck about that. I give a shit about giving out, good content. So, anyway, that's an update with me. That's 10 minutes of me. So if you want to fast forward that, I mean, if you listen to this bit, you wouldn't have fast forwarded it, so it doesn't make any sense, does it? So, I'm going to crack straight into the questions. These are good ones. So I'm going to start. This is questions quite random, but it's a good question. So it's actually about Lewy. So the question is, you and Lewy look close. So me, yeah, we do. So like my thoughts on Lewy. So I've got the question actually is, you and Lewy look close. What are your thoughts on him, and are you going to move in together after the story yesterday? So I to be honest with you, like I absolutely love Lewy a lot. Actually, like when I saw him yesterday, it was like one of my best friends I have known for years. In reality, it's the first time I've met him, and we were saying that to each other yesterday. We were like, it just we've just have this, obviously created this bond and relationship that's already there. So potentially, we were talking about yesterday. We have goals, guys. Like people like me and Lewy, really really driven. Actually, he's a really good guy, and if you're not following him, do it, because he's genuinely, I could probably count on my hand. There's 5 people in this industry that I trust, and he's one of them. To be honest with you, and that that says a lot actually to me, because I don't have, again, my Instagram post a lot on this was on this like tonight. So I don't have loads of friends. I don't want to have loads of friends. I don't associate myself with loads of people. It's not my goal. My goal is to just have quality around me, and I feel like he's quality. And when I find people who are quality, in my opinion, I keep hold of them. So my thoughts on him are, he's fucking awesome. He's a great coach. He's a lovely guy, and who knows? I said to him yesterday. I literally said to him in the car. I was like, mate, if you said to me tomorrow you were coming down to Brighton to live, I'd be like, okay, cool, let's buy somewhere, and let's build an empire together, legit. And that's what we spoke about. And I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of thing happens, because he's a good guy, and I've got a lot of time for people like that. So yeah, that was awesome. Anyway, that was a good little chat about Lewy. Lewy's a good guy though, so if you're not following him, why? Please go and follow him immediately, because he's fucking amazing. Anyway, let's crack on to the second question. So, sex drive when in prep, and what to do in a relationship. So, this is a good question. Now, my thoughts on this are, if you are in a relationship and you are bodybuilding, bikini, but whatever, and you're obviously you have a partner, I'd highly suggest you speak to them prior to starting the bodybuilding venture. So I'd sit down with your partner, whoever it is, and explain to them why and what you're doing. And now, from that kind of conversation, you need to talk about like what's happening in that year and why you're doing it. Now, if the relationship you're in is strong and it's real and it's not just a load of shit, like not most, but like quite a few relationships are just a bit of a joke, aren't they? And they're not real. They're not like real, like real when it's something that's actually serious. I think if you explain to them why you're doing it and what you're doing, I think they're going to be 100% on board. Now, if they're not on board, then I think that they're never going to be on board. So you kind of need to just get rid, really. And that's, it's quite sad. But if they're not understanding of you and your goals, and they're not supportive, I mean, just get rid. Because that's kind of what has to happen, unfortunately. It's kind of sad to say that, but they're never going to be on board. If they genuinely don't love you and they're not going to be there to support you through a period of time, they're never going to be. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think it can absolutely work. Personally, for me, when I'm like, obviously I'll answer it as well for myself. I've never really been in. I was last year, and I was prepping for a bit, but not towards the end. I won't talk about that anyway. I've gone over that so many times, so it's just boring now. But what would I do if I was in a relationship and I was in prep? To be honest with you, I don't think I would be. I'm very insular, to be honest with you, and I just don't. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I always say this, and I was like, yeah, people say like, well, I was speaking to one of my clients earlier about this because he's in a relationship, and he was like, he asked me like, how do I know if I found the right person? And quite frankly, that's the problem, isn't it? Because I fucking haven't found the right person, obviously. Because if I did, they'd be over there, most likely, or potentially not. But they may be here now, or maybe with them, and I'm not with them, so maybe that speaks volume. I'm a big guy, and I'm a big believer in things like it happens for a reason. So I've had previous relationships, and I wouldn't go back there. And there's relationships that I've fucked up myself for sure, through bodybuilding maybe, yeah. But it is what it is. It's life. Things happen. Things change. You move on and you adapt and you become, better at your craft essentially. So now I'm better at knowing what to do in a relationship if I ever do go down that route again. But again, I don't really see it happening unless someone insanely incredible comes into my life and I feel like that's right. But I think that's the problem. No one like that has come into my life. Otherwise, I'd be with them now, wouldn't I? Realistically, because that's true. I would be, wouldn't I? I would have gone through the process, and nothing would have happened. So I've kind of gone into relationships a bit, but in regards to sex drive, you don't really have a sex drive when you're prepping and you're lean, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, you can't really give a fuck anyway when you're lean. So I think that you need to explain it to your partner, and you need to make sure they know that it's not them that you're kind of not attracted to and stuff like that, because that can obviously cause issues potentially for relationships for sure, which can be distressing for one or the other. So I can understand that being quite hard on a girl if a guy can't get like a hard on or something and then their girlfriend's like, is it me or something like that, which would be brutal, to be honest. But if this is where you'd have to have spoken about it. Otherwise, it could go pretty poorly. I'm not gonna lie. I hope that makes sense. I think in a bodybuilding prep, you're not. The goal is to get lean and win shows, not really, keep hold of your sex drive. So kind of question where you're at in regards to like, priorities. If your goal is to put it bluntly, if your goal is to retain your sex drive through a prep, don't prep, because it's not going to happen. So yeah, hope that answers your question. So moving on to the next question. So we have someone just commented on an old Instagram pic. Must have been scrolling down for a long time because that was when I was prepping. So Bodypower. Thoughts on Bodypower. So this is a good question, actually, to be fair. I actually like this question. So first off, it says, are you going to Bodypower and what are your thoughts on the event? So yes, I'm at Bodypower this year. And this rolls into another question, which I'll answer in a minute. So am I going to Bodypower? Yes, I am. I'll be there Thursday. Well, I'm not. It's obviously not on Thursday, but I'll be there Thursday morning in Birmingham because I'm going to leave mine at like 8, maybe earlier. Get there for like 11 and then set up camp for my laptop. Why did I just move the laptop? Set up camp with the laptop and do some work, but I'm going to get the majority of my work done on like Tuesday, Wednesday, because that's how I have to do it this week, because obviously work. So Tuesday, Wednesday for sure, if I have some time Thursday, but I will be able to do some Thursday, yeah, for sure. But reality is I'm not gonna be able to do check-ins and work on Friday, Saturday, because I just can't. Like if I've got clients competing in Friday shows and Saturday shows, I just can't be on my laptop in an expo doing videos. It's not realistic, is it, for the weekend? So I'll obviously still, all the work will still be ticked regardless of when I can do it. It will still be done. But my thoughts on Bodypower as an expo, I mean, if I wasn't in the industry like I am, I wouldn't go, to be honest, because I don't really like the fact that everyone walks around in stringers and stuff like that, and you get all the guys just, I don't know, it's just a very posy sort of thing, isn't it? And for me, I don't really like that. That's not really my goal. I mean, the only reason I'm going is because I've got clients competing and I've got quite a lot of my clients coming up there to see me. So that's the rationale behind me wanting to go. Of course, I'm really excited to be with my clients. That's great. And I want to watch my clients compete. That's also great. That's why I'm going. I mean, if I didn't have a business and I wasn't coaching and I didn't have any clients there, I wouldn't go. I didn't go last year when I was dieting and stuff like that because I just didn't really want to go. I wasn't interested in it. But now, obviously, I feel like I kind of should and need to be there, obviously, for my clients competing, and I feel like I should be there now. I just feel like I should. I feel like I'm in the industry a bit more now, so I kind of should be there, if that makes sense. So, but my thoughts on it on a whole is that I don't really enjoy the whole aspect of it. I like meeting people who I like on social media, and I don't get to see them in person as much. But I don't really care about queuing up to see bodybuilders. Doesn't interest me, or like Gymshark or anything like that. That's just boring. So that's not why I'm going. I'm going there to almost like a network with my clients, and obviously competing and stuff like that, which would be great. I have 3 clients competing there, so I have Sean competing in bodybuilding. I have Ismail competing in physique, and then I have another client competing in physique as well, Michael, which is cool. So I'm excited for the weekend for sure, but I'm not excited for the weekend, but not really the event, so to speak. Not really Bodypower. I'm excited to be there with clients and the shows. Does that make sense? I don't really care about Bodypower though. Like, meeting, athlete Christian Guzman. I couldn't give a shit about that. What I care about is seeing my clients, meeting my clients, and networking, essentially, in a way. Although it's not really, it's just you with your clients in hoodies, just standing there talking shit, eating Quest bars, realistically. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. So, moving on to the next question. The next question of piece, which is a good one. So, this is a very interesting question. So, are you sponsored? Are you a sponsored athlete? Good question. Yes, I am. So I'm sponsored by Endeavour at the moment, which is awesome. Not at the moment, I'm sponsored by Endeavour since last year, which is great. And to be honest with you, I really like the supplements. The supplements there are the supplements that I've used, for my entire career, really. Not my entire career, but for example, my whole prep last year, I used Blue Raz Endeavour, which was brilliant, and I used that for my entire prep. And the reason I like it, and I like the company, and I like Tom, is because whatever's in the product is on the label, so he's not bullshitting you. And as being someone who doesn't obviously use anything that's not drug-free, I need to make sure that what's in the label is actually in the label, because you can't really trust these companies these days. Well, some of them. So obviously competing drug-free, I can't take anything that's banned as well. So everything in there is brilliant, and it's all legal. I can actually just, I use this every night before I go to bed, which is a big dream. So what you do is you pop 2 capsules. So I'll just show you the size of the capsule. So there you go. So yeah, you just take 2 of them before you go to bed. The ingredients in it are very, very good, and it's very good actually. It's very good, to be fair. I use this every night. Alongside, I have the pre-workout, which is a caffeine-free version. So it's good if you're training late at night. I have a normal pre-workout, which is just caffeine, obviously caffeine-based. And then we have a Think formula, which is awesome as well, which has ingredients that helps you focus when you're doing things like work and check-ins. Like, would it be a good idea potentially to have one before this, but it's a bit late, so I don't even want to have caffeine at 10:15. But yeah, it's good, it's very good. I believe Tom's releasing a greens powder soon, which is interesting, and I like them. I really do, so that'll be awesome. So yeah, I am sponsored. For the question, I would have thought you'd know the answer though. I don't know if you're just asking the question. But yeah, I am sponsored, which is great, and I absolutely love Tom, to be honest with you. If you're not following Tom, you should be. Tom's fucking awesome. I really like him. He's a super natty as well. I'm not a super natty. Tom's leaps and bounds a bit ahead of me, but he's a good guy. I like him a lot. We've got a lot of time for Tom always. So yeah, hopefully that would be it. Hopefully we'll be at Bodypower one day with Endeavour. Who knows? That would be cool. So, are you taking on clients? Good question. Currently, at the moment, I am running a full online coaching business. So I'm kind of in a position now where I'm coaching more people than I said I would coach, basically. So I initially said that I wouldn't do more than 40. And yeah, that didn't really work, because I find it very hard to say no to people, especially when people contact me saying they followed me for X amount of years and they really want me to coach them and no one else. And I had a guy the other day sign up who said to me he'd followed me since 2017 Christmas, when I started my mini cut, member. And he said that he wanted to be coached by me and he doesn't want to be coached by anyone else. And I said to him, like, I'm in a position at the moment where I'm very, very full. So maybe can I put you on like a waiting list or something? And he said he doesn't want a waiting list. He doesn't want to be coached by anyone else. And I recommended him some good coaches, like a couple of people, a couple of people. So like I'm passing a few people over to like Connor Crompton, who's good lads. Christina, one of my clients, Christina is really good. Lewy as well, passing a few people over. But this guy didn't want anyone else. He wanted to be coached by me. He said, I don't want to coach by anyone else. So when that happens, I take the client on and I'll just do more work, essentially, because I'm not really prepared to let that individual go to someone else when they want me to coach them, because I just feel like that's on another level of personal for me, and I really, really, really like the fact that they followed me for a long period of time, and it's just really cool for me to want, for that kind of want, just for me to coach them. So, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of selective now when it comes to coaching. I only want to coach people who just really want to work hard. So if you're watching this now and you're thinking about applying for coaching with me, that's awesome. If you want to apply, please apply. I'll leave a link in the bio or the description box below. And I also have, when I release my website, that would be like a coaching application process on there. But again, like I'm not, if you're going to fuck around, I don't want to coach you. Really, I really don't. And if you want to fuck around, I want to coach people who are serious. I want to coach people who are going to work hard, who are going to check in on time, who aren't going to, be shit with replies, stuff like that. I just don't want to know that anymore. Which is really, really nice to not have to worry about that anymore. For people, because obviously when you start coaching, when you first start a business, you take what you get. You can't pick and choose. So you've just got to take on what applications you get, and you have to do your best with that. But I'm in a position now where I'm pretty thoughtful when it comes to who I inquire. If I get an application form come in and it's, a question on there is how motivated are you to achieve your goals 1 out of 10. If they put 5, I mean, I'm not gonna reply, because why would I want to coach someone who's got to put 5 out of 10 effort? No, fuck that. I'm not interested in that. I want to coach people who are motivated, who really want to work fucking hard, who are 10 out of 10 interested in achieving their goals, who aren't going to say to me, I'm tired, I don't want to complete this day or something like that, who aren't going to say, after 2 weeks, I've had an issue now, I need to completely stop coaching. People like that, I just don't want to coach. I want to coach people who are committed 100%, who want to work really hard, who are willing to achieve their goals no matter what it takes. People who are going to be committed, consistent, who aren't going to fuck around, who are going to be on the money every week, who are going to check in on time, who are going to pay me on time. People like that, I just want to work with, So yeah, I mean, am I taking on clients? I'm not advertising. You wouldn't have seen an advertisement on anything of mine for a long time now. So I'm not advertising, but if I get someone come in who I like the look of, and they tick the boxes when it comes to the application process, then you can always tell as well, guys. If you're coaching and you're watching this and you're a coach and you're getting applications come in and you're not sure what's serious, you can usually tell by the amount of detail you get in the application form. Because what I do now is there's an application form and then there's an email to send me over, a long email going over why they want me to coach them and what they want to achieve. So, if you get a really good application form filled in, with ticking all the boxes that you want to see, you get an email coming with pictures, you get a paragraph of information going over everything that you want to see, then you kind of know that's a good application. If you get a shit application with a number on there and that's it, and there's no information, there's no pictures, there's no description, there's no why you want me to coach you, I mean, I'd suggest not contacting them, because it doesn't seem like they're not going to be very interested. So you want to look for people who really, really open your eyes and make you think like, fuck, okay, that's a really good application, I want to contact you, like I genuinely do. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answers your question. So am I taking on clients? Obviously I've answered that, and thought process behind what I think you should do and look for an application process potentially. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm very aware that this video has been half an hour already, which is cool. So it's just content for you guys, isn't it? So anyway, let's move on. I just got a message on Instagram saying I actually got a voice note as well from Lewy, which is cool. Wow, so I can't listen to that on camera. But I had a voice note saying, "You're just wondering, are you inspired to entrepreneur? Maybe to look to try out CBD. Don't want CBD. If I wanted anything like that, I'd just smoke some weed, wouldn't I?" So this is a good question. How are you peaking clients? So, good question, great question. Now, this is very, very, very individual dependent based on what they've been doing through their diet, how low their carbs have got, where they're at, how lean they are. So, for example, I'll take a client of mine, Ismail. Example, how am I peaking? So, obviously I've been coaching someone for 6 months plus. I've been coaching Ismail since September last year. So, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just monitoring obviously he's competing in 6 days, so 5 days tomorrow. Yeah, 5 days tomorrow. So what we're doing at the moment is we're doing daily check-ins with posing in the morning, so video to me, body weight daily, and voice note going over how they're feeling, etc. So this is the data I'm collecting every day, and obviously I'm looking at previous data on my spreadsheet that I've got with him in regards to things like refeeds, like where he's been refeeding, how many grams of carbs he's been refeeding on, how low his calories have got, where he is in regards to his conditioning. So, for example, him at the moment, his upper body's shredded. I may I could do actually just for it's quite cool, I suppose. Took some photos today, and he looked very good, very, very good. I'll show you. I was very happy with his look. Very pleased. So as you can see, he is at the moment, he's very lean, 150 pounds on the dot, shredded, to be honest with you, fucking shredded. Like you can see in the picture, you can see he's full, his waist is insane, his midsection is insane, his delts are poppy, his chest is poppy, striated chest, striated delts, striated obliques. So when I'm looking at someone like Ismail, how I'm going to peak him is I'm pretty much playing it by day to day. So again, I'm auto-regulating everything based on the day and what I see on the day. Like, I don't understand people who give out peak week plans and it's like a plan 7 days. Like, I just think to myself, copied and pasted, because how can you peak a client when you're basing it on a day? Like, oh no, sorry, if you're giving a client a peak week plan over a week, no, because that doesn't make any sense, because the body's going to change very, very frequently in these moments. So how can you give a plan that's the same every day? How can you do that? That's copied and pasted. So if you get a peak week plan for someone, that's copied and pasted. Now, what good coaching is, if throughout a peak week, is daily check-ins with pictures every day, with body weight, with every day, with communicating with them every day, making changes based on that. That's how I peak clients. So just out of interest, like if you are being coached by someone and you're getting a peak week plan and that's it, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's it, and it's like, okay, cool, that's all you're doing, I'm not going to speak to you again. That's copied and pasted. So that's shit. Fire that guy or girl, because that's garbage. A coach needs to provide daily changes most of the time when you're peaking, because obviously the body changes very frequently when it's lean. So you need to make sure that you're watching everything and monitoring everything very, very closely. So that's pretty much how I would peak a client. I'd look at previous data, i.e. refeeds, high days, where they've been at, what their look's been like after a high day, how they've responded, what their body weight's done after a refeed. All of these kind of things I'd add up, and then that would accrue to my decision-making processes when I'm making changes in final few weeks and days. So typically I like to get the client in shape first. So once they're in shape, just start drip feeding carbs in. Now what we're going to do with Ismail this week is we're going to just keep running on lower macros at the moment, which is Saturday. So we dropped his cardio. His last cardio session was today. So he'll probably drop off some fatigue over the next few days, because obviously he's been on the Stairmaster going hard on that thing. So we'll look to reduce, most of the time you look to reduce the amount of expenditure you're doing and the intensity of your training. And the rationale behind that is when you're training really hard and you're doing a load of cardio, you're going to be inflamed. I don't care what you say, you're going to look inflamed. You may look good, yeah, sure, but you'll look better if you want to be detailed and separated on stage. You've got to be rested and recovered. If your muscle's inflamed, it's not going to be feathered. It's not going to be recovered. It's not going to be sharp. It's hard, is it? Because it's going to be inflamed. It's going to be sore. A sore muscle is never going to be a conditioned muscle. Although, even if you are lean, you could blur conditioning. When you finish like a leg press set and you try to squeeze your quads and you can't see shit because your condition is going to be blurred because of the amount of blood volume there. So most of the time you reduce intensity, volume, and cardio, and that should allow your body to be, very, very, very receptive in regards to the carbohydrates that you're putting in. Now, I do think that throughout a peaking process that you should definitely get the client doing some form of activity. So I'm going to keep steps in for most clients. High impact cardio is going to be out. So steps going to be in, cardio is going to be out, but we're going to look to keep in things like upper body sessions, which is going to be mainly pump work. So 15 to 20 reps, not going anywhere near fail. Now, what we need to do to mitigate any sort of damage is kind of like cut out the eccentric loading. So no slow eccentrics, no paused reps with heavy load, and just pump the muscle up essentially, because basically what damages tissue the most is eccentric loading, isn't it? Or isn't it? What damages tissue most is eccentric loading, and loaded stretching with weight, obviously. So that's what's going to create a large amount of muscle damage, and that's what's hard to recover from. So if you're going in the gym and you're doing an upper body pump session and you're seeing, and you're getting carbohydrates moving, like I would almost prioritize an area that's potentially weaker on you. So maybe if you have shit arms, maybe just pump your arms up a bit more before, like during your carbohydrate updates, because that may potentially prime your body for a few more, carbohydrates to go into that muscle cell, so it will shuttle glycogen in there, providing that you're lean as well. You shouldn't. I was having this conversation with a guy at the gym today, one of my friends, Mark, and we were talking about like people worry about holding water when they're carbing up. Well, the reality is you're not going to hold water if you have no fat on you. Now, people hold water because the skin's not thin. If the skin's thin, like paper thin, like when you're lean. When I was lean last year, my skin was paper everywhere, like literally paper. Like I could, it was like that everywhere. Now, if you're refeeding and carving up and you're that lean, your body, there's nowhere for your body to hold water apart from in the muscle, which is where you want it. So get all the fat off first. Then once the fat's off, then start increasing food. And if you get it right and you're meticulous and you'll do it over a few days and you're making sure you're keeping water in, stuff like that, because you actually do need water to push carbs into the muscle. Some people think that cutting water is smart. How are you going to load carbs when the main driver of glycogen into a muscle cell is water, and water's not present? How are you going to get full? Probably going to look soft and flat most of the time. So yeah, hope that makes sense. That's my sort of approach to peaking clients. It's very, very, very individual, obviously, but I enjoy it. It's probably the best part of my job. It's the most fun part, to be sure. To be fair, I love it. I love getting up in the morning. Like tomorrow, I've got Michael, Ismail, and Sean images, and I'll have 15 of them each, and I'll be able to go through them and make changes. And I love that. I enjoy that. It's fun, fucking fun for me. It's not work. I love it. So that's how I'm peaking clients. That's a little bit of an insight. In regards to like this as well, just to cover like how would I peak a female? Very similar. The only difference would be with people when you get clients like bikini girls. You've got to remember that the muscularity is quite low. So how full can you really get if you're peaking a bikini client? Realistically, not really that full, because how flat can one get? Flatness is going to be determined a lot by muscle mass. And the reality is a bikini client hasn't got like the muscle mass of a bodybuilder, So I think the peaking process needs to be very, 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 very individual to the person, of course. And what dictates the differences is things like muscularity, and how conditioned you are, stuff like that. Okay. If you have any more questions on it, guys, just send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to have a conversation with you about peaking, because I enjoy it very much so. And I plan to nail every peak I do this year. I don't want to make any mistakes. I'm sure I will. Well, not mistakes, but I think I'll make not errors, but I think I'll be able to look it back and think I could have done it better. But I'm pretty confident actually in my ability to do this job well. actually. I'm very confident in my ability to coach. So I'm even more confident in my ability to pick clients. So I think I know. I've really got a good grasp of this now, and I really do believe that. I really think I've got a superb amount of knowledge, a really good amount of experience, and a good amount of insight to this. So I'm very confident, very quietly confident this year with my job, and just know, like, I really know what I'm fucking doing, and I'm really confident in that, which I think is important. So I think you should be. I think if you're confident in your job, you know what you're fucking doing, you're going to do well. Okay, so be confident if you're not confident already. If you're not confident, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what to say. So I don't know what to do if you're not confident. Get confident immediately and then start coaching. So a really good question. So copying and pasting plans and stealing coaching sheets. Yes, favorite question. So this is asked by my question Jack Rayner. Now, the thing is, people think me and Jack don't like each other. Legit. Reality is, we do. Actually, I'm actually a good friend with Jack. He's actually one of my good friends. We actually speak pretty much daily on Instagram, really, believe it or not. Now, we have different thoughts and beliefs when it comes to training, for sure. But that's fine. It's cool. I'm happy with that. No issues with that. But we're actually really good friends, and people think we don't like each other, but we actually do. I'm actually good mates with Jack, so he's a good lad. I see him at Bodypower, and I've got a lot of respect for him, so that's funny that people think you don't like someone when you actually do. But copy and paste plans and stealing coaching sheets. Firstly, stealing coaching sheets. Like, I mean, if you're stealing a coaching sheet, I really reevaluate your life. Because at the end of the day, if you think a client's paying you for your coaching sheets, you're a moron, essentially. Because the client pays for you. They pay for you. You're the brand. When a client signs up for me, they pay for my brand. They pay for me, not Google Sheets, you moron. So stealing a Google Sheet makes you just look like a cretin. Because reality is, if you think you're going to keep client on board with a Google Sheet, you're a jerk. To be honest with you, you're a fucking idiot. So I think my opinions on that it's just a bit funny. And I mean, I'd give someone my Google Sheet if you want. I don't give a shit if you use my Google Sheet. I know a few people who stole my Google Sheets. I can give a fuck if they stole them, to be honest, because they're, if that's what they think is going to make them a good coach, they're never going to have a fucking business. I'd sort out your mindset first, bro, before you think you're going to have a business. But my opinion on it is, I just think it's funny that people genuinely think that that's the way to improve their business. It's just a bit. When I hear something like that, I just do this for a second, and I just think about my life. I think about other people and what they're doing. It's just a bit of a joke. But Jack, mate, we know a few people who've done that, don't we? And moron, really. Copied and pasted plans. Now, this is unfortunate, and I see this a lot. I've got a lot of clients come to me from previous coaches. I'm not going to name any names, obviously, that's just sad. But a lot of clients come to me, previous coaches, and their previous coaches have basically, the issue is if a load of girls, for example, are coached by a female, and they all get the same plan, they're all doing the same show, and they all ask each other backstage what their peak was, and it's the same foods, everything's the same weight. It's copied and pasted, don't you? So, I mean, the reality is it's very common, and my thoughts on it are it's embarrassing. I feel like it's common though. I think that there's nothing you can do to really get around it. Unfortunately, it just is what it is, and it seems to be ever present this year. This year is very, very present with it, and I just feel like you're basically just embarrassing yourself, and your integrity as a coach is just a bit of a joke. So if you are doing that, I'd highly suggest questioning yourself a little bit, because it's common and I see it a lot, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore because it kind of pisses me off. And this leads me on to another topic, and it's like the topic of ignoring your clients. I mean, what is that about? I had a guy, and I've taken him on today, who is competing in a show soon, and he sent me a message this morning saying like he wants me to coach him going forward after his show. Okay, because he just wants me to. He's followed me and he wants me to. I was like, sweet, it's cool. I like him. I know who he is. So I was like happy with that. And then he said to me later on in the day, he was like, he's just not in shape. He's just not where he needs to be. He's not getting any replies from his current coach. So I was like, okay, right. And he said, can I help him? I said, absolutely, yes, I can help you. Because how dare you think you're going to ignore your client? How dare you do that? I mean, if you think you're going to fucking do that and get away with it, you're a scumbag. Yeah, you're a scumbag. Because this guy is a nice guy. Regardless if you're a nice guy or not, you do not ignore your clients, okay? To me, that's disrespectful. It's embarrassing. And it really fucks me off when I hear it. Because I've had to take over now this guy's prep. Yeah, he hasn't got long, and I'm going to do my fucking best to make sure that he looks the best he can on stage. And now if a coach did his fucking job, you know, and responded 4 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, he wouldn't be in this position now. So if you're coaching and you think you can get away with ignoring your clients, I'll make sure you fucking don't if I find out who you are, because I just find it's embarrassing. It pisses me off and it upsets me a lot when you're doing that to nice people, or anyone, not nice people, just anyone in general, because it's not acceptable, and it fucking annoys me. And you can tell it annoys me because I get all like kind of pissed off about it, because you know, I fucking love my job more than anything, and I do everything I can every day to be the best at my job and to give the even better service to my clients. I want to always improve my service, and when I see people doing that to other fucking clients of theirs, it makes me rage and it makes me very angry, because you think like you can actually do that to people who want to achieve results, and they're trusting you with their money, and that, you know, they're trusting you as your coach, and you fucking take their money and ignore them. I think that you're just a joke. I think you're fucking embarrassing. You need to question yourself. Because if I find out anyone does that and I know who it is, I'm going to just slate the shit out of you on social media, because I think that's embarrassing. And it pisses me off to see that. Because I love my job, like I just said, and I love helping people. And I really, really wake up every day. And I genuinely do. I go to bed every night. And I don't even want to go to bed sometimes because I love my job so much. And I want to wake up every day with the goal of helping as many people as I can, especially my clients. And when I hear other people's clients are getting treated like that, it makes me so angry, because it makes me think to myself, how dare you do that? How dare you do that? How dare you think you're going to be in the industry doing that? It's a bit of a rant there, but it just goes to show that I'm fucking passionate about my job, right? I'm just not talking shit. You can tell I'm not talking shit, because you can't fake passion. Maybe you can for 20 minutes, but after a while, you can't. Like, you can tell I fucking love my job. Look, it's 20 to 10, 20 to 11. I'm 47 minutes on a podcast. You know, would I do this if I didn't love it? Fuck no. So, you know, don't think you can keep doing shit like that and getting away with it, because you won't, and I'll make sure of it if I find out who you are as well. It's fucking disrespectful. So, moving on. I'm trying to load the phone here. Thumbprint's not identifying that. There we go. So, I haven't got many left to do actually, which is fine. I'm going to pick a good one. There's 2 here, so I'm going to pick the best one here. So this is a good question. What is a setup for a coaching client? Now, I kind of covered this a little bit, but it's still quite a good question. So I would say a setup for a coaching client would be to get as much data from the client as you can. Now, again, this comes back to things like what their application has been like in the application form. So you'd get all the information that you need from the client, you know, how many days a week they can train, their pictures, their current training, their current nutrition, what machines they have in the gym, everything along those lines. You get all that information. And then from there, it would be a case of pretty much, because obviously as the coach, you have a template, you have templates, and no, they're not copied and pasted, they're templates. So you fucking, when you set the sheet up, you write in the new stuff. You don't just copy it, okay? So the templates, but then you write the new training in, okay? Based on the individual, so it's actually tailored. It's not cookie cutter plan. So it's actually fucking tailored. So yeah, so you get all the information, and then from there, you pretty much set up the coaching sheet. Now, I'd advise, if you're doing the job properly, you need to give your client at least a week's notice to start. Because reality is, it takes a bit of time to actually do it. Because think about it, I would say it takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours to program it. So the spreadsheet that's set up takes me a couple of hours over. And then what I do from there is I set up the video walkthrough. So I send over a video walkthrough like I'm doing now, kind of going over a spreadsheet. and that takes up to half an hour. So a setup process can take up to 3 hours. And reality is, if you want to do it properly, you need to actually allow the time to do it, because we're not here to just fuck people over. Remember, we're here to actually help. So we don't want to sell, copy, and paste the plans. We want to make sure everything you do is in regards to coaching is tailored, because that's going to be the best way for the client to get the best results possible. Because how can you give someone a plan unless it's tailored to them? It doesn't make any sense, does it? So again, how you do it is you get an application form. You'd go through all the information. You'd maybe get them on a call as well, which is sometimes a really good idea. So you get the application form, go through the information, get them on a call, and then once you've got them on a call, you can chat to them. Then you get the pictures come in. Then you get the information in regards to training, their current nutrition, where they're training at, what facilities they have, and then from there you set up their training. You set up their entire spreadsheet based on all the information that you've got previously. So I hope that makes sense. It's a decently simple. It's a decently simple process, but it's just a decently long process as well. It's not complicated, but it just requires time and effort and patience, essentially. So just make sure you do it properly. But I think I'm going to leave it there because it's been a decently long podcast and I've kind of gone into everything into depth. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Now I'm going to get these on iTunes for you guys, so you can watch them on iTunes. But I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I'll do another one next week. Thank you for listening. Post this on your story if you watched it all, please. Tag me in it. Send me a message on Instagram. Tag me on Instagram. All of that kind of cool stuff, and I'll keep them coming. But guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me from a personal perspective, just send me over a message on Instagram, okay? Cheers, guys.